Hey y'all, welcome back to the Keys to Healing. If you're new here, I'm Kiki. Welcome. Now let's get into this episode. So, somebody sent me a clip on TikTok and I wanted to react to it. They sent it about a week or so ago, could have been a little bit more. But I want to react to it because this shows how our mindsets can keep us stuck in trauma, right? So I'm gonna play the video. We're gonna get into it, and I'll give y'all my reaction and my thoughts about it of how this type of mentality can keep us stuck in trauma, right? Um, let's get into it.
Only way to tell if somebody give a fuck about you is when you go through these four stages in your life: homelessness, being broke, sickness, and dealing with a death. A lot of people think people love them because they're having a good time. You understand? But when you go through these four things in your life, that's when you tell how much somebody love you.
Okay, so let me just say this, right? One, everybody will not go through homelessness. That's not a common thing that mass people experience. Some of people experience it. I've experienced it. But everybody realistically does not experience homelessness. Um, we all gonna go through sickness. We're all gonna have people that are unalived, loved ones that we lose. Um, and we all gonna come to a point in time where we're broke. You just never, it's never gonna always just be up. You never just always gonna have money. I don't care how much money you have or you came from. Everybody goes through ups and downs, especially financially. So that's just life. Like that's just life. And like the good time thing, like we just like to have friendships for good times. Here's the thing with that. That's like a young mindset. If you are somebody, I would say maybe 30 and up, you start to understand that friendships is more so about how you how you guys align with each other. Friendship is about your morals. It's about, do you fit into each other's lives? It's about the support system by the time you hit 30, because now you're starting to have children, you're starting to get married, you're starting to have real life events happen to you, and you need the support system. You need people who are morally aligned. Versus in your early 20s, late teens, 18, 19, you are not going through that, right? Like, it is for a good time. And the mindset of that is we are all too young at that time in our early 20s and late teens to even have the capacity to be able to um be there in the way that we should be there for each other, and to understand that the other person we don't even know how to be there for each other. We're all going through these new scenarios together, right? So I think it's giving the grace of understanding, like, we are all going through this together. We're figuring out how to be friends, how to figure out how to be the support system, figuring out, I don't know how to handle you going through losing somebody in your 20s. Sometimes that's weird. People cope and grieve differently, and what may work for you might not work for me, and I might think you're okay, right? Like, it 20s and early teens is a very crucial time because you learn a lot of lessons. But the problem is when we get stuck there and we think moving forward this is everybody, and it's not. It's a lessons that you had to learn, so now you know what to look for going forward, because now everybody is at an age mentally to be able to handle these things. But we can't get stuck in a mindset and the trauma of those things and carry it with us through our adult life. That's where I'm just, but let's finish watching it, because I don't know, because again, I only watched it once, so let's finish.
By how they show up, how they treat you while you're going through your process. You understand? People be out here treating people like pure shit, giving them distance when they need love, disrespecting them, not showing up, doing crazy shit to put the person in a deeper mental state. And those same people you were around for, I bet money. No questions asked. You provided, you showed up, you advised, you was a help, you did for their children or their child. And when it come to you, it's fuck you. And the same people.
Okay, y'all. This is probably gonna be my last pause, and then I'm gonna let it finish. But hold up. Who asked you to do that? And this is why this is why the mindset is we gotta get control of our mindset, because then we take those things and then we go into other relationships and we carry that trauma and saying, well, this person didn't do that for me, so I'm gonna reserve myself. How you love somebody is how you love. How you show up for people is how you show up. That is not a bad thing, especially if you're a giving person. Now, life is going to teach you to learn who to give extra to and who not. That is a life lesson. I think that we confuse the people that were in our lives for seasons to teach us the lessons. We confuse that and we hold on to that trauma, taking it and dragging it through life, and we make other people pay for the things that people who are only meant to be in your life for a certain period and reason. We take those things and we don't apply it correctly. Who asked you to be there for their children? Who asked you to go over and beyond? Who asked you to do these things? Nobody asked you. So because nobody asked, and even if they did ask, you could have said no. But if it's in you to do it, then it's just in you to do it, and there's nothing wrong with it. You should still be that person to the people that you love and care for. It's nothing wrong with being like that. But they did not have to be grateful for that, especially if they didn't ask you. Sometimes we give people more of us that they never asked us for. And then we're mad about why you don't appreciate me, why you're not grateful for this thing, because I didn't ask you for that. But when you're in your late teens and early 20s, you don't know what a love language is. You don't know how to appreciate somebody going out of their way, because maybe that's not the way you needed them to go out their way. You don't understand that I actually needed this support. You don't know how to voice that you don't need that and you need this. In your 20s, you do not understand this, but in our mind, we build that the people are bad, people are horrible, you can do whatever you want for people, and it's never nothing good that's going to happen out of it. And that could be true in certain instances, but we have to start talking about the time span that these things are more likely happening to you. If you're finding these things after 30, 40, 50, and you still running into people where you like, oh, we have a good time, and that's why she my friend, you need to grow up. You have to mature your mindset, because friendship should not be based on if we just have good times together. That's the plus. Like, I can have a good time with you, and you know how to counsel me in the event that I need counseling, and you know how to be my friend and show up for me when I'm down and out, and you know how to be a support system to me when I need help with my kids, or I might be struggling in life, or I'm having a career change. And it's only part of the friendship. Friendship and relationships have moving pieces. Also, you have to also understand that some of these situations is why you need to have a spouse. This is why I promote being married and having a husband or a wife, because some things your friends won't have the capacity for, and that doesn't make them a bad friend. It just, they don't have the capacity. They're living their own lives, and sometimes we get so engulfed in the things we got going on, we forget that the world is still turning. Other people are still going through things. They're not your life partner. Get you a life partner and go through the revs and flows, the ups and downs with them. They are supposed to be there with you through thick and thin, ups and downs, good and bad. Your friends are too, to a certain extent. Everything has a position and a role, but we have to start understanding who actually, when we say, I did all this for people and I did all of that and I didn't get nothing in return, who asked you? Who asked you to do that? And did you do it with the intentions of, this is just who I am, right? All right, y'all, let's go and get on back into it.
That do the bare minimum for them, they put on a fucking pedestal. Sometimes we dive deep for people. We go deep, deep, deep in the ocean for people, and they on the surface. looking at you, go deep, deep, deep for them. And the whole time, all they could think is, I would never do that. I would never do that. And it's sick, bro. It's sick how people are just so disgusting. Instead of appreciating somebody that give a fuck, instead of appreciating somebody that makes sacrifices, instead of appreciating someone that actually love them, they rather use them, be an opportunist, disrespect them, give distance, and praise the ones that 9 times out of 10 would do the weirdest shit to them. Fucking generation is nuts.
And shout out to her, right? I get what she's saying. I don't want nobody to look at this and be like, you don't get it. No, I get exactly what she's saying. I've been there. I've had friends who were not what I needed in the moments that I needed them. I've had friends who I felt abandoned me in certain times and aspects of my life. Like I said, I went through homelessness, and I had friends that was like, girl, that's a you problem, right? And it was a me problem. Sometimes our circumstances and the things that we are going through in life are nobody else's problems but ours. And sometimes we are not being the best friends we could be because we're expecting other people to pick up the slack that's not even their job. We can't expect other people to pick up our slack. That's something you have to deal with. I can't go through you losing somebody with you the same way you're going to go through it because I didn't lose them. Ultimately, I just know how to be a support system in the way that you know how to communicate you need it. But again, if we're talking early teens and 20s, I'm not saying that's what that's not the time frame or age. She didn't give one specifically, but because she's saying this with her whole chest and the way that she's saying it, and she's speaking in past tense, and she's really feeling it, and from what I've known and experienced from people, we take a lot of our early experiences and we make that shape our entire world without giving grace, understanding, capacity, maturity. Some situations is neither one of y'all was mature enough to deal with that situation. Neither one of y'all had the capacity or the understanding to know how to communicate your needs with each other. Sometimes you're trying to overplay your role when your role was not needed in that way. Sometimes you're expecting other people to fill a role that's not their role to fill. Again, this is why I tell women specifically and men, but I'm a woman, so I deal with women. Get a spouse. Stop thinking that your friends can replace you having a life partner. They cannot. They cannot do the things that your partner is supposed to be able to do for you, right? As a friend, that job only goes so far. It is not my job as a friend to house you or to make sure you have somewhere to stay. It's really not your friend's issue. That is a you issue. Why are you homeless? What is going on? Now I can help you. I can help you financially figure out, girl, do you need a job? Do you need a place to stay for a couple of days? Do you need, because we all have seen those situations go left when we let a friend stay with us and now they won't move out, they want to get a job, they won't do any of the things, right? So we've seen that happen. Not saying that happens in every scenario or every situation, but we also have to understand that sometimes it's just not your friend's place or position to do those things. And if you're the friend doing that, again, who asked you to do all of that? Who told you to go over and beyond? And maybe sometimes you weren't clear on where your position was. Maybe they only viewed you as a clubbing friend or the friend I want to go out and have a good time with, and not their deep friend where they wanted to talk deeply or go through things with. Maybe that's y'all wasn't as cool as you thought you were. We've all been there where we thought, girl, I thought we was really cool. And you found out you wasn't up there on the list. It's like having going back to MySpace top 4. And you think you in the top 4 and you find out, girl, you're not even in the top 15. We have to understand that mindset can keep us stuck in trauma and make other people in the future pay for the sadness that you experience in early adulthood. You have to learn to let that go. Do I feel like I was done wrong by some people? Questionable. Yeah. Yes, looking back at that girl at that time, yes. But now that I am now 34 years old and I can look back on those situations and say, you know what? Neither one of us were mature enough to really talk this out and communicate. Neither one of us knew how to be there in the way that we should have been. Neither one of us really knew how to play our positions at that time. It was not my friend's problem that I was homeless. It just wasn't. And it was not being a good friend of me to put that stress and that burden on them at that age. That's a lot. That's a lot for you going through homelessness. So what you feel like it's gonna be for me trying to save you out of homelessness? Like we have to start understanding. I'm not saying don't help. I'm not saying to house them. I'm not saying I'm saying understand your role and play that, but don't get stuck in that mindset of people will leave you when you need them most. We're all gonna go through a broke season, multiple broke seasons. You're not always up. What your friends supposed to do about you being broke? What I'm supposed to do about that besides help you fill out a couple of applications and a job? I got to keep my job. We're all adults here, right? And we all have our own things. When you start having kids, that's a big thing that teaches you who your friends really are and like your circle and who should be there. Because a lot of people leave you when you have kids. Be a woman and start having kids. Watch how friends start dropping. And that's how you know like y'all relationship wasn't what you thought it maybe was. You overplayed your position. You overplayed the friendship. That don't mean I don't think going in the future that I'm expect other people to have the same mentality. No. I just think when you're younger, you're going through life experiences. And we gotta stop taking that life experience and turning it into trauma. And now you disgruntled as a 30, 40, 50-year old talking about people are sick and disgusting. Yes, that's a given. That's why you're supposed to move with intention. When people are showing you how they treat other people, do not ever think it cannot be you. I don't play that game with nobody, even when I was that young. But I was the friend who was homeless. I was the adolescent who was in and out my mama's house. I was the one who, while everybody was in college partying and playing, I had to work a job. I had to make sure I housed myself, clothed myself. I could feed myself. I didn't have the extra help that all my friends around me had to where they could BS through school. I didn't have that. Neither was it their problem. Right. And at the time, I did go through because, again, my immaturity at the time was saying, well, y'all should be better friends to me because y'all know what I'm going through and I don't have the same life as y'all. Did we go through that? Yes. Am I still friends with some of them people now? No. But I am still friends with some of them. My best friends was during that time. And we go through our strifes and our arguments? Yes. But we were able to get through those things by saying, you know what? I didn't understand because sometimes it's just a lack of understanding. You can't ask somebody who's never been homeless to understand homelessness. That's just the reality. And again, a lot of women tend to want to make their friends their spouses. And we're supposed to go through life thick and thin, good, bad, up and down, friends to the end. And that's not how that works. Your spouse is supposed to be that dedicated to you, not your friend. Your friends are there for support. And sometimes we overplay our friendships and we drain our friendships because we expect way too much from our friendships. We have to stop letting trauma be a part of our growing and our lives and just take the lessons for what they were and just they were just lessons. It taught you how to vet better. It taught you what you needed out of friendship. It taught you the things to look for when you're meeting new people and you're letting people into your world. These are lessons that we all just have to go through, even with like relationships, boyfriend, girlfriend relationships. It's women who still heartbroken from their boyfriend they had when they were 20. Maybe he didn't know you wanted him to be a man. He didn't know how. He wasn't one yet. He was going through school just like you. He was dibbing and dabbing just like you. He was trying to figure it out just like you. But sometimes we put too much expectation on other people without realizing that we're helping breaking the relationship, and we're helping put trauma on ourselves because we just want to be loved and validated and respected so much by the wrong people. That just wasn't your person, boo. That just wasn't your friend. You found out. So now you take that and apply that to what you now need and require for people to be in your presence. But you can't be holier than thou and being like, well, I'm this type of person. I'm always going to be there for you when you need it. I'm going to pick up the phone when you call, and I'm going to be there, and I'm going to help you through every little struggle that you go through. Some stuff is just not my place, and you're going to have to figure that out. I'm the friend that you can call, and I'm coming. But am I the friend that's going to talk to you every day? No. I don't even have the capacity to talk to you every day. I'm raising kids. I have a husband. I have businesses. I have my own life and my own trauma and my own things that's going on. I don't always have the capacity to do that. But if you call me, you need me, I'm there. I'm dropping stuff, right? I'm that friend. I'm the friend that's going to say, okay, let's fill out the job application. I saw this job was hiring. Here you go. I'm sending them what you need. If I got money to give you and you need some extra dollars, I can do that. But I also know how much to give, not to give things that I'll expect back. If I'm going to expect it back and I'm going to be this could end our friendship, I'm just not going to give it. If I give you money, I'm not expecting it back. You can give it back, cool, but I'm not going to miss it. I don't give money, I'm going to miss. That's how I've learned to stay out of those situations. That's who I am as a friend. That's how I show up from a friend. But it's also understanding how I show up is not how everybody's going to show up for me. That doesn't mean that they don't love me. That just means their love language looks different. And now I have to be able to tell them, I actually need you to care for me like this, right? This is kind of what I need. Vice versa, the way I might be, because I'm overwhelming. I am the fix it person. You got a problem, come in and fix it. And sometimes people are like, yeah, I just need you to listen. That's all I need. I just needed you to listen. I need you to be a listening ear. I need to back up. I'm trying to fix your situation. I'm trying to jump in, be over and beyond. Buzz Lightyear, right? To infinity and beyond, trying to fix you, Captain Fix them. And that's not even what they needed from us. Sometimes your friend just needs you to be a getaway. Girl, let's go out on the town and just have a good time. I want to get away from my problems. I want to escape. Come on. But we think trying to be everything and giving everybody our all is going to make people love us. That's really why we do it. Because somewhere we're lacking love for our own selves. So you try to gain it by doing the things, and then you end up disgruntled in the end. Change your mindset and stop turning your lessons into trauma. Don't turn it around. Also admit what you did wrong. And that could have just been you overplayed your part. You did not have the maturity to give people to tell people what you needed from them. You didn't have the maturity to understand that you were putting way too much on somebody else's plate. You were just overplaying it. And that's okay. But stop turning those lessons into trauma, because you will miss the lesson because you so hurt in that trauma from who didn't do what for you without understanding why. Every relationship has its place and its own lane. Keep them there. Keep the lanes very clear. Don't start swerving and mixing. Keep them there. But also, go get you a spouse so that you have somebody to go through thick and thin with. But the base of that still remains. You have to teach people how to love you. You have to teach people what you need and require from them. And you have to learn what they require from you, because it might not look the same. And that doesn't mean it's not being reciprocated. It just looks different. The point of this, y'all, stop turning lessons into trauma. Some things are just lessons, especially when you're in your 20s and late teens. That stuff is lessons. Take it as that. Stop internalizing that as trauma. It's not. It's a lesson that you had to learn, and those people were only there for a season to teach you that lesson. So moving forward, you don't keep making the same mistakes. If you do keep making the same mistakes, it's because you didn't learn that lesson. You turned that lesson into trauma, and you changed the people, but you did not change the traits. You just found the same people, different faces. Same trauma, same situation, different person, different face. You find yourself constantly in a situation because you didn't learn the lesson and you turned the lesson into trauma. We have to work on our mindsets of things. I'm not mad at nobody who did me anything in my 20s. For what? We all had to grow in our own ways. And honestly, sometimes people are just not meant to do life with you. Doesn't make them a bad person, doesn't make you a bad person. Sometimes certain things just is what it is. All right, y'all. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you ever have a reaction or a video that you want to get my opinion on, feel free to send it to me. You can send it to I'm.the.key on TikTok or Instagram. And I'll definitely take a look at it and react to it on here. And I hope this video, as always, provided you with some type of value and just a different way of thinking, just opening up your mindset to improve your own self. In the meantime, in between time, y'all, hunt life, live dreams. Remember, you are the key to unlocking your dreams. I'm Kiki. Bye, y'all.